What's up, members of League Zero? Welcome back to the Countdown Week 2 edition. I'm going to be your host, Grapecake, and just like last week, we're going to have three new guests. Say your name.
I'm A/, the manager of One Trick Wonders.
Hello, I'm Alianas, a hitscan player for Geometric.
And Alucard.
I'm Alucard. I am a DPS for Hyperflex.
Yeah, guys, so we have a lot of different players here. We have players, managers. It's going to be a really good time overall. The first thing we're going to talk about is the weekly recap. So the first game of the week that we had was Wisdom vs. Rio, and it was a really strong 3-0 by Wisdom Academy. So, anyone have any thoughts about this game in particular?
I mean, the result was the one that was expected, really.
Yeah,
I don't think anyone really thought Rio was going to take like more than one map, and it didn't, so.
Yeah. A lot from last week's countdown, everyone predicted a 3-0 or a 3-1. And just watching the VOD over, like, this was a really strong win by Wisdom. Like, Rio looked close on some maps, like I know, like, Busan in particular, it was kind of close here and there, but overall, Wisdom did take this game pretty easily.
Yeah, it's interesting to think about because Wisdom was number 5 in the original power rankings, and I think Rio was number 3, and how that's changed is kind of insane. I think it's mostly the coaching staff over on Wisdom is just absolutely insane, and Navino's done such a great job with his team.
Yeah.
So now
Definitely
they're
is Flash.
2-0 in second place. So.
Yeah, like as the season progresses more and more, like you're gonna see less more mechanical skilled plays and more like team-oriented plays, and that's what Wisdom's doing. They may have not been as, although they may have won their first game, they didn't look as strong. They're actually becoming more and more dominant as these games progress. It can definitely be shown in their gameplay.
Yeah,
to be fair, Wisdom also had like insane talent coming into the season.
They had one
also
of the best rosters.
I thought Wisdom had a relatively good roster, contrary to popular belief at the time, but I thought Wisdom was going to be a pretty strong team. So.
Yeah, so going on to the player of the match, it was Alex, Splash, and Raga. It was actually a tie, three-way tie. And just by looking at, judging based on these three, all of them really stuck out. I know Raga's Ryan was really good in particular. Splash and Alex played really well. I know they played Diva and Main Support, respectively. What do you guys see from these people in particular?
Well, for me, I think everyone on that roster is extremely talented and could have won, and could win player of the match any week depending on how they play. But I think it's really interesting how there was a three-way tie, and it just kind of shows you how dominant all of them were. Ragai has been pretty dominant ever since Pugs, really, and that is still showing in the season, which is really good for Wisdom. But just Ragai style kind of reminds me a lot of Arrow's style from last season, if you remember, Grape. Where he's just hyper aggressive and his team can pocket him and he can just make those big plays and win games.
Yeah, and that's what I feel like took Rio off guard, like the amount of aggression coming out from Ragai and the support he was given. Because I know the main thing on the other side of Rio would die first in a lot of fights. And it was really common because of that, and that pressure from the Ryan really helps it a lot. And the honorable mention for this game was Tuzi. I believe he played Lucio, if I'm not mistaken.
No, Widow.
Oh, he played Widow. Oh, yeah, he was the Widow player. Yeah, oh my god, I'm sorry. I don't know.
He is absolutely the best Widow in Novice right now.
Yeah, he won player of the match against us week 1.
Oh, yeah,
His Widow kind of ruined on us.
Now I remember, yeah. Oh,
yeah.
Oh, yeah, now I remember him for sure. He would always like take down the fucking... oh, crap, I can't swear. Always take down the enemy team Widow and the Pharaoh. Yeah, he is...
The monetized.
Yeah, hopefully Aku doesn't get mad at me. Yeah, so like, just all around, Wisdom is like having a really strong roster, and like, especially with these future games coming up, it's going to be really crucial for them to keep playing up to these standards.
Definitely.
And I think we can move on to the next game of the week, which some people thought was an upset, some people didn't. It was actually Geo taking out the win over Hyperflex 3-1. And I just want to say this now, this was probably the best game of the week by far. Like, as soon as Geo lost that first map, I thought Hyperflex had it. Herp and Yoshi was popping off, their DPS were popping off. But then all of a sudden, like, Geo comes back strong and then wins off a C9 at the end. Like, this was just such a fun game to watch.
Yeah, Hyperflex definitely took us by surprise. We didn't expect them to come in that strong. We were kind of taking a bag, as you can see in like the 2-0 we got in the beginning. But a really talented team. We thought this would be probably the hardest match for a while, and it was. So shout out to them, really good play.
Yeah, this is a question specific towards you, Alianos, is were you guys surprised by the DPS variation coming out from Hyperflex in the first map? Because they ran a Genji McCree, and you guys were running meta with May Reaper. So, like, what was going through your guys' mind during the first map?
Well, we did expect the Genji, right? Because Alucard is a Genji one-trick, XD.
Not true, unfortunately, but
I've heard. But what was the question again?
Like, were you guys surprised by the McCree Genji composition coming out of them?
No, not really. So we didn't prepare for that as much as I had like hoped to. But we were like certain that was just like aggression running into the team in general, and just ignoring the Genji for the most part would work. And in later matches, that did work, yes.
Oh yeah, I did notice that like in the first map, you guys really weren't really focusing on the Genji as much. Hence why you got really big nano blades. But I feel like once you guys got your stuff together, you guys actually really did outclass them in the mirror match when it did come in later on. And I also want to ask you guys, what was your guys' reaction at the end with the C9? Like, I was laughing so hard at that.
from the Hyperflex point of view, to be fair, it wasn't necessarily a C9. If I had touched point off of that blade, I would have instantly died anyways because of a bomb that was placed on the payload. So I scuffed my dash, which kind of already made it to where I couldn't touch the point without dying. And honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I really feel like the map was lost anyways. I don't think we were winning that fight.
I think it would have been a full hold anyway, or like at least like just like 1 point. But yeah, it wasn't a forced C9. It wasn't an actual C9. He would have died if he tried to touch.
That is true. But what was your expectation going to this Alucard on the Hyperflex kind of side?
My expectation, personally, I have faith in my team, and I know that we can win big games like this. I was not surprised we won the first map, especially since they're running a different support line than what they usually do. They had Hanzo and Stormy out, so I was relatively confident that we could have won that first map, which we did. The second map, once they put Hanzo and Stormy in, I knew it was going to be much harder to win, but I feel like we kept it relatively close, which is something I expected to happen. So I'm kind of proud that we were able to keep the game as close as possible, I guess, considering this was, I guess, like the projected #1 team in the league after week 1.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It was definitely a really close game. Rialto not very much, but other than that, I would say it was a really good battle.
Yeah, I'd argue on the fourth map, the mentals were kind of gone for Hyperflex, I would imagine.
A little bit.
Well, we were just like boosted by 2 consecutive wins, so like that's just mind games, I guess.
Anyone else have to add about this game in general?
I'd just like to say, I think we had really good mid-set coaching. Shout out to all of our coaches. They've been really, really good and really helpful this season. So yeah.
Yeah, so
that's all I gotta say about that.
Awesome.
Oh yeah. Also shout out to our man Kisgo. He's our newest coach, I think. And he really coached us in the breaks, and especially after game 1, he really picked us up and told us what to do against the comp. So shout out to him.
Yeah. Anyways, let's go into the player of the match, who was Churd, who I would say, I thought Herping Yoshi was going to come in this much stronger than him, but his Diva was absolutely insane. I would say he outclassed Herping Yoshi in this match. So, how were you guys surprised by his playstyle in this game at all, and how he performed? No one.
I don't know.
Well, no, I mean, I wasn't surprised. We've been scrimming this comp like straight dive for almost 2 weeks now, and he was always on Diva. So we know that he can synergize with the team well. We know that he knows what targets to go for to always harass the Widow or the Pharah, whatever's like currently present. So he's an insane Diva, but I wasn't really surprised that he did as well as he did.
Definitely. And going on to honorable mention, it was Stormy and Micro, who did also perform very, very well. And yeah, this just in general, Geo's tank and DPS support line played extremely well this game. And I'm really excited to see how they're gonna build on this, especially in the next few matches that are coming up. Yeah, and going on to the last game of the week, we had Platchat versus OTW, and I was very surprised by this one in a way. I thought Platchat would have taken this, but OTW actually 3-0'd them pretty convincingly. So,
Yeah.
go on, go on.
Hyperflex has scrimmed OTW quite a few times. OTW is probably the sleeper pick of this league, in my opinion. I think they have a really good chance of going on to succeed. They have a really good DPS line, pretty good tank line, and overall their coordination's pretty good when they aren't tilted. So I really do think that that's going to be
Toxic.
not toxic. It's going to be like the one thing about the team that might hold them back. But other than that, I say OTW looking really good for them this season.
Definitely. And like, were you guys surprised that it was like a 3-0? Like, I expected at least like a 3-2 or like a 3-1 at the very least, but
I personally was not surprised, but I have a little bit of bias for OTW for obvious reasons.
Oh yes.
But I do think it was a lot closer than the
Scoreline
score had said.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Kings Row was an insane map. I wasn't able to go to the game, so I had Shifting message me every time something happened for the most part, and I stayed up to date, and it was very stressful not even watching it. So, I mean, I feel like the game was really close, and Platchet could have easily taken 1 or 2 maps on us, definitely, but I think we just were able to pull out 1 or 2 fight wins at the end that won us each map.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was expecting a 3-1 for Pledge to take at least 1. But I mean, honestly, I really feel like it might as well have been a 3-1. It was a really, really, really close game. So Platchat still did play really well.
Also, A/Slash, what was your guys' preparation for this game against Splashchat, who almost won against Hyperflex?
We kind of just kept practicing teamwork and coordination in comms, especially. We left our comps and our more detailed in-game strategies, like in the actual game stuff, kind of on the back burner for the week preparing for Platchat, because we knew that we already had a very solid and strong foundation of what we wanted to do on each map, no matter what Platchat had picked. So we were really just working on getting our coordination down, and we greatly improved on that since Wisdom, and I think that is definitely what we worked on the most going into that game.
Yeah, I can definitely like see like OTW came in this much more confident in general, like much more prepared, and it really did show from the scoreline. And going on a bit here, the player of the match was Repeat. So A/Slash in particular, how do you think Repeat performed, and why do you think he was on player of the match in this game?
Well, I mean, in our server, he's known as the CEO of pressing Q because that is his signature talent on Reapers to press Q, and he kind of kills everyone. But Repeat in general, he just has such a great mentality and is really a positive person to play with. He doesn't tilt very easily, which is huge, and is a very clutch player. He gets what he gets done. Oh my god, words are hard. He gets done when he needs to, when he needs to. So he's a very clutch player. But funny enough, the entire team of OTW, at least that I'm aware of, unanimously voted for Urban as player of the match, and he wasn't even honorable mention. So I would just like to give a honorable mention to Urban for being the positive main tank on our team that calmed our way to victory.
Yeah, definitely to him. He did play very well too. In terms of honorable mentions, though, as we were talking about, we do have Void is OP and Spoon, or also known as KTO. And what were your guys' expectations, not just of the honorable mentions, but also player of the match?
I am not at all surprised that Void got honorable mention. I know his far really, really, really tough to deal with, and he actually can flex onto a couple other DPS, and he's pretty good. So I'm not surprised about Void. Spoon, also another good DPS on OTW. Yeah, so I'm not surprised by either one of those two.
It's funny because Spoon's actually our starting Flex support player. And
I know that.
yeah, he is. He had to play on map 1 because Repeat wasn't he was still not home yet, so Spoon had to play map 1. So Spoon acts as our starting Fox support and backup DPS player.
Awesome.
It's fun.
It's good to know. And let's actually move off from the week. We're going to the predictions this week. And the first game of the week we're actually having is Rio versus One Trick Wonders, and everyone here predicts One Trick Wonders to win. I just want to get your opinion on why.
If Rio Redemption does not find a way to deal with the various things that OTW can pull out and just use to win, it's not going to be a super duper close game, in my opinion. I know ATZ is capable of various things, but I mean, it's not looking too good. I really do think it's confidently a 3-0 for OTW this week.
Oh, okay. But you do think that Rio might take a map off, right, Alucard, as you do?
They might. That's in the case that they can deal with Void's Farah, shut Void down, and deal with the back line. I feel like those are the two really important things that you have to get rid of from OTW.
Well, what about
but if
you?
they don't find
Yeah, they definitely do have that counter that far, and I do think ATZ can, if he does play up to par with his Widow skills. Alianos, though, what do you think? How do you think this game will turn out?
So I predicted 2-3 in favor of One Trick Wonders, and it's I think it can be really close. That's why I picked it so close. I do think that in a normal scenario, One Trick Wonders can just pull off the win straight away, like maybe 3-0. But I've heard things about Rio that they're actually starting to gather some scrimbucks now, and I don't know. I will let myself be surprised, though. I do believe that One Trick Wonders will take this.
And for you, Ace Flash, what is OTW's preparation going into this game, especially coming off a strong win against Plachat?
Well, a couple things actually. We just picked up King Genius as our new head coach,
Oh yeah.
so we've been grinding quite a bit with him, getting everything down pat. We've been practicing a lot of different comps, not necessarily meta or off meta, but just additional comps that we can have in our back pocket from what we typically run. And I wouldn't be surprised if we came out in a completely different look on one or two maps. We've also been working a lot on individual improvement as well as team improvement, so like working on everyone's mechanics, positioning, ability usage, just very basic stuff. And now that we have that head coach, it takes a huge burden off of me. I was doing most of the coaching for the first 2 weeks, so now we can have me focus on the supports more and have King Genius focus on the tanks and the overall, while our DPS coaches work on our DPS.
Really good.
So-
I do want to say that really good pickup for King Genius. He's really strong main tank in advance, so that definitely helped propel OTW to that next level in terms of skill. Going on to the second game of the week, we have Geometric versus Placha, and all of us here think Geometric will win, and I think it's pretty obvious, but I still want to get you guys' opinion on that. Hello?
So, okay. Yeah, it's gonna be a win, and I do believe it's gonna be like not a close win. But we did just lose our main support player, and we don't have a large roster to begin with, so it's gonna hurt a little, which is why I do think we could drop a map. But overall, I don't think Platchat is capable of defeating us right now.
Yeah, so my original predictions for this map would be, for this game, was 3-0 in favor of Geo, but after Hanzo got moved up to Intermediate, I think that Plachat has a chance to take a map off, depending on how strong Geo can be without Hanzo. So Plachat once again was very close against us, and I think that if with the right practice this week, now that it's a bye week because of Valentine's Day, we're going into an extra week of prep, I think Plachat actually has a chance to take one, maybe even two maps off of Geo.
I could see that happening too, but I just realized it came to my mind now that Hattori Hanzo will not be there. So I still think Geometric does have the edge, but Placha could take a map off or two here or there.
Yeah, I mean, we did practice for this scenario, right? Because the complaints have been there since basically week -2 or something. that we have Smurfs. So we did prepare for that, just cutting all Smurfs for scrims and just like letting them in like the B roster, let's say. But it's not really B. They're really good all, but letting them play, and we are still really good, but maybe not just as good as with Hansa.
Anything you want to add there, Ace Flash? Okay.
Not particularly. No.
That's fine. Then let's just move on to the last game of the week, which is actually Hyperflex versus Wisdom. And I think we can all agree this will be the closest game of the week. And it's really, actually, it's pretty one-sided. We all think Wisdom will take this, either 3-2 or 3-1. So I'm gonna start this off. Actually, I'll start this off first. I think Wisdom just has the edge, just because how they performed this week. They played outstanding. There were some mistakes here and there, as every team does, but compared to how Hyperflex played, Wisdom just played like on another level. So I think if Wisdom can build off their last one and come in stronger, this will be a close but pretty dominant win for Wisdom.
So like I think like that Wisdom has looked pretty dominant so far. We haven't faced them, and I don't think we have faced them in scrims either. So I can't say like a ton about that, but I do know that Hyperflex just lost their head coach. So I don't know how that will impact the team at all. Maybe Alec can say something on that, but
I'm to be completely honest with you. It's kind of been recognized. Arrow wasn't there that much, but Arrow was helpful. But we did get Nico. Shout out Nico, literally greatest coach of all time.
As I said, I don't know too much about the situation, but this is by far the closest match this week, and it could go either way. I just have Wisdom winning out because they've been so dominant, and Hyperflex has been going through some changes. My opinion, though.
I do know Alucard, you won't be actually in this match, but what are you guys' preparation going to this, and what are you guys' expectations?
We're gonna be much better. We're gonna do much better than we did last week. It's gonna be better performance by far. Preparation, we've been scrimming, trying out different things really. Just being us, having fun. That's about it.
Awesome. Anyone else want to add anything before we just wrap this up?
I have kind of a more bold prediction for this map. I don't think it will be as close as the rest of you guys think. Just because Wisdom has been on such a hot streak, and with, once again, this extra week, if they can really get the download on Hyperflex, I think it'll be very difficult for Hyperflex to put up a strong fight against Wisdom, because Wisdom has just been so dominant, and I kind of expect this dominance to continue. But I do think Hyperflex will be able to take one map off, because they're just a really good team too, and I feel like it will be close, but not that close. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, I could see that happening, Flash, but I also do think that Hyperflex did play good against Geo. It's just that Geo kind of like, I feel like Geo just played better than them at the end, the mentality kind of hit. So if Hyperflex can have a good mentality and just stay positive throughout the rest of the game, I could definitely do see them bringing this much closer. But I think that wraps it up, guys. I think we talked about everything, all the games. Anyone want to make any closing statements?
It's gonna be a really fun week, and good luck to everyone.
Yeah. I'm really excited to see how this week turns out. I hope there's some fun upsets, because that would just be very entertaining. Hope we don't get upset, though. Rio, don't get any ideas.
Hey guys, welcome to the Intermediate Countdown. I'm Pooter Scooter. I'm joined by Sir Me.
Hi.
Me. Oh wait, you want to say
Yo.
and Clovix.
Hello.
Alright. So these games this week were pretty telling. Do you guys agree? Of like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. I guess, if you say so.
I mean yeah. So the first game was between Double Cap and DKE. Double Cap won 3-1. Do you guys have anything to say about that match?
I didn't watch anything, so no.
I watched the VOD, and the score doesn't say everything. It was actually like a pretty close game, and if DKE had like any ult management at all, they probably could have pulled in a map 5.
Yeah. I wouldn't like. I would have thought, like, just knowing how. Okay, can I call DK bad? What's I can do?
The countdown. You can say anything.
Oh, let's go. Okay, DK is terrible, and I thought DC would 3-0 them.
Jeremy, you're boosted.
Yeah, you're not wrong, dude. You're not wrong.
I was told to say it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
All right. So the play of the match of that game was I Toasty Toast, and the honorable mentions were Shim and Orange Juice. Do you guys have anything to say about those players, or?
I mean, I feel like everyone on DC was like playing pretty close. Like, I don't think anyone really shined over anyone else. I feel like player of the match is just sort of a random choice on one of the DC people.
Only person I really know from that game is Orange Juice. And I've always respected him as main tank, so I mean.
Yeah, he's always been good. Like, just the DC roster as a whole doesn't really like stand out to me like too much. Like, they're really
players, but like they don't. Yeah. I don't feel like they know how to piece it together really.
Yeah.
Like, they have, in my opinion, Frogman, T-Sen, and Orange Juice are like great players. They just don't really know how to work together. Like, all three of them, they don't really know each other prior to this, and I feel like if they just get this energy, they can kind of roll. But it'll take time.
Yeah. Alright, let's move on to the next game, and it's Vitalize versus Bot Burgers. Vitalize 1-3-2, and the play of the match was Akimbo. I think we can all agree that he played very well.
Yeah, I can agree. This is very similar to the last one, where the score doesn't really say everything, because this game was anything but close, even though it was a map 5. Bot Burgers won the first map off of a leafer on Vitalize, and like, in this meta, you need a really good diva, and I didn't see Bot Burgers diva playing that well this game. And like, their Mei wasn't getting any valuable walls. It honestly, looking at the VOD, it looked like they didn't have any communication with each other, and it was just Vitalize dominating them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Bot Burgers as a whole, I feel like it's kind of weak.
Was there no play or honorable mention for that match?
There is no honorable.
Everyone just voted for Akimbo.
Huh. It's all voted for Akimbo.
Everyone voted for Akimbo.
Can neglect the coach for Bot Burgers be the honorable mention even if they lost?
I don't care.
Thank you.
Next job, Neglect.
Let's go Neglect.
Neg-1-lect. Yes, sir.
Alright, so we're gonna move on to the next game, which was CDC versus Papega Parrots. Sermi, do you want to say anything about that game?
I thought it was gonna be a lot closer because I know Papega is really good, but they didn't have a lot of their starting lineup, and they needed a ringer too, so that's kind of when we like 3-0'd them. I wouldn't say it was a roll, but like every map was like fairly close. I don't know, but yeah.
All right.
Yeah, just like when I watch the VOD, I can tell that like CDC very rarely overextended on like any of the players. Rarely ever overextended, and if they did, they rarely got punished for it by Papega Parrots. So like there was just like nothing contesting them because like they weren't making any too big mistakes.
And the player of the match for that game was Sebs, and the honorable mentions was Shinna. And Shinna is actually Ducky from Season 0 C9 and Season 1 Chengdu.
Right, you read the wrong. You read the wrong.
Oh, my bad. The player of the match was Reborn, and the honorable mention was Vantage. My bad.
Yeah, Reborn kind of popped, man. Shout out to Reborn. He kind of carried us.
Man, Reborn. My wingman, dude. I love Reborn so much.
Alright. Let's move over to the next game, and it's High Society versus Powerhouse. High Society 1-3-1. And the player of the match was Sebs, and the honorable mention was Shinna, who is Ducky from Season 0 Z9 and Season 1 Chengdu.
Season 0 Z9 was the good old days, man. I miss that.
Yeah.
So much.
I like that game.
Sebs is a hit scan, right?
No, he's an off tank.
Oh.
Yeah,
he played Diva.
Oh. Okay.
In this game, on Powerhouse, I was really only impressed by Pew Pew support and I guess maybe Gavan's tank. While High Society, their both their DPS, their off tank, they were very impressive to me. I felt like they were kind of carrying the game.
Yeah.
And just not seeing that on Powerhouse, like you could tell after like maybe 1 or 2 games that they were gonna win.
Yeah, I think Powerhouse definitely has some potential. Like moving forward, they do have like the powerful DPS line of Dad and Kev. So, and High Society, I think they have a lot of talent, but they just need to like synergize with each other. And I think they can be even better. Like moving on. Right now, though, I'd say they're okay.
All right. So let's move on to the next game, and it's Shanghai versus Yoink. Shanghai won 3-0. The player of the match was Tyler, and the honorable mention was the Bakery.
I actually did watch this game back like right after because I was told by my RF Tank Taco Chuck too, and Tyler kind of popped off. Like I was kind of impressed. Maybe not in your eyes, but I feel like he kind of just abused things, really.
Like watching the game, Tyler was good and all, but honestly, the supports of Shanghai really carried them. I like thinking in my head, if they didn't have Muhammad and Madam on their support line, I can see Yoink taking a few more maps in that matchup, maybe even pulling out a win.
Alright. So let's talk about the next game, and it's Wait What versus Overcharged. And we have one representative from each team. So do you guys want to talk about like what your team did during the match, how you guys adapted, I did this and that?
If you wanna start, let me go.
Alright, I guess I'll go. Alright, so we had our tank line, our first tank line of Hunter and Xiavan, who played together maybe once during the scrim, so they were like had barely any synergy. And Hunter and TNT have opposite play styles, so it's really hard playing them together as tanks. And then switching between them really confuses Xiavan a lot. So it made it hard for him to play D.Va, especially on the third map when he had to swap playstyles entirely. Mixed with the fact that like we didn't scrim as much as we wanted to, and Xiavan only made like one of those scrims, so we had to like run TNT and Hunter at the same time in the scrims, even though we were only going to be playing them on main tank. And like, yeah, but by the third map, we knew we were losing.
Alright, so I just want to preface this by saying we almost blew up this game, even if we did well. Like we had 3 personalities clashing: me, Spork, and MK, which is dangerous. And
yeah, and
during this game, what?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, talking about Spork and MK, Spork got player of the match, and MK got honorable mention.
Yeah, they kind of both popped, but with me not really pocketing Nyx as hard as Stormson sometimes does, Sport kind of got away. Sport got upset with me, but he started screaming mid-map at me and kind of scared me. So I started DPS mercing and it kind of paid off, I guess. Because say that's why we won Legion Garden. But
oh yeah, and on Eichenwald, we tried out Farah May on attack, and that was Avo's first game as May ever with us, and so he didn't really know what he was doing.
Yeah.
You guys ran out of spawn without a pharmacy, right? You just ran Farah, right?
On that map, no, we had a Mercy.
Okay, my bad.
It was on
Getting
Ike that we didn't have a Mercy, and that was our coach telling us to try it out without the Mercy, and then swap if it wasn't working.
I'd also like to mention that I was I was on main support, I think Mercy is, and I'd like to say you just lost to Covet Mercy real quick. That's it. That's all I wanted to come on the background for.
Okay, dude.
May I leave?
I mean, I don't know.
Alright, but to add one more thing, we have fixed our tank lineup, and me and our head coach, we have spent 2 all-nighters working on free agents and trades, and just working on everything to make our roster even better. And we think that after week 3, we're going to be a playoff team, easily, maybe even a grand finals team.
Oh, I also want to say one thing. During week 1, Fimi in the chat, whenever you got a kill against Powerhouse, we just like chanted Fimi, and it was cool.
Dude, it was so cancer.
That must have been constantly, because I was always getting kills.
No, it wasn't really that constant, but
I guess it was.
if you wanna.
All right,
It's an ego, but
moving
so
on to the
take it.
predictions.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
First game is Double Cap versus Bot Burgers. I have Bot Burgers winning 3-1. Covet has Bot Burgers winning 3-2. Surmi has Double Cap winning 3-1, and Fimi has Bot Burgers winning 3-2. Surmi, why did you pick Double Cap?
Honestly, I feel like it could go either way, but I don't know, man. To be honest, Double Cap, they're just my homies, you know. So I gotta have them winning.
Yeah.
But like, overall, I think Double Cap just has a better roster in general. I think, but I think Bot Burgers, if they can like scrim a lot this week and get synergized, I think they can definitely beat DC.
Yeah.
So, like, that said though, DC lost a lot of management over the week, and I've heard rumors of like a few of their players are wanting to be traded away. So I just see them like, I don't think they're mentally there. So that's why I put Bot Burgers winning, because they've been, I think they've been slowly improving, while DC has been getting worse.
Yeah, fair enough.
Alright, moving on to the next game. It's Papega Parrots versus DKE. I have Papega Parrots winning 3-1. Covet has Papega Parrots winning 3-1. Surmi has Papega Parrots winning 3-0. And Fimi has Papega Parrots winning 3-1. So.
I don't know.
I don't know. There's not what to say.
I mean, unless
it's gonna be a weird game in my opinion, because I don't really know that much about DKA. I just know, like Timmy said, they kind of over ult a lot. They don't really know how to manage it. But I know Papega has pretty good DPS. Really don't know how to use their ult in my opinion. From what I've seen in the Vitalized Papega game, that was the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
yeah.
they kind of just chuck their ults out, and Kimbo kind of just donk them up. So if they can like actually like learn how to manage stuff on both sides, I feel like it could go either way. But I still have Papega winning.
Yeah, I mean, even if DKE, like they scrim every day this week, they get their ults better. I just don't see them improving that much. Like maybe they'll get map 5, but that I think that's pushing it.
I give them a chance, honestly.
Like I definitely think they're gonna take a map, but I don't think it'll be more than that.
Yeah, it's fair.
Alright, moving on to the next game. It's Vitalize versus CDC. I have CDC winning 3-1. Covet has CDC winning 3-2. Surmi can't vote on this match because he's playing in it. And Fimi has CDC winning 3-0. Surmi, can you just talk about like the preparations that your team's going through?
Yeah, so we haven't scrimmed at all this week. And as I said, wait, no. So both of us are looking for a reschedule, but we kind of can't, because both of us are going to need a lot of ringers and going to have like people off rolling. So it's going to be an interesting match, to say the least.
Is it just because like people are just out for that day, or is it for something else?
Yeah. So I'm not going to be there. A lot of other of our people on CDC aren't going to be there, and I know that Grape's not going to be there. I think. Yeah. Just in general, like there are not going to be a lot of people because of Valentine's Day or something. I don't know.
Valentine's Day is the day before.
Wait. Oh, okay. I don't know. It's just like I don't know.
Wait, Valentine's Day is on Friday.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right.
Yeah.
Moving on
Pepe
to
hands.
Uh-oh. It's not gonna be good for me.
Same, bro.
Never lucky. All right, it's gonna be Powerhouse versus Shanghai. I have Shanghai winning 3-1. Covenant has Shanghai winning 3-2. Surmi has Shanghai winning 3-1, and Fimi has Shanghai winning 3-0. So we all agree that Shanghai is like probably number 1 or 2 in the league right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yup.
I don't want to comment.
Oh, okay.
He thinks CDC is number 1 and 2.
CDC, what?
No,
Hold up.
Wait, what?
No, he's on wait what? He thinks wait what is like number 1, bro.
Oh, sure. Okay.
It's debatable.
All right. Here's my definitely not biased list. Number 1, CDC. Number 2,
He's talking?
wait what? Number 3, Shanghai.
Gooder.
Or you can swap around wait what and Shanghai.
Does Scrimbucks count now? Since,
I don't know.
No.
I cash in my scrim bucks a lot.
Dang. I'm gonna cash in a whole stack.
I feel like as of this week, that's pretty accurate.
I
Yeah.
feel like after this week, they can start counting. 'Cause teams have time. They've started to prove themselves. If they.
All I'm gonna say, once week 3 happens and like the free agency unlocks, I think the power rankings are gonna shift a lot.
Oh yeah, definitely. 100%.
Yeah, we're dropping Mark.
Oh, okay.
Isn't Marknet like bronze?
You don't make fun of Mark now, okay? On the account.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough.
He's my e-girl.
All right, moving on to the next game. It's High Society versus Wait What. I have Wait What winning 3-1. Covet can't do anything because he plays for Wait What. Surmi has Wait What winning 3-0. So does Fimi. Clovix, can you just tell us what preparations you've been going through?
So we haven't scrimmed since the game. We've just only thing we've actually done is play Minecraft.
Nice. That's the best way to scrim.
Trying to
That's
the thing
synergy.
is, we're just trying to build mental right now, because if we aren't really worried about our gameplay, because I feel like our even solo talent is better than the solo talent there, and I feel like if we actually have good mentals during the game, we can pull off really good teamwork and just win it pretty easily. But it's just the fact we have so many conflicting personalities that we just have to keep it together, and that's our preparation is really just mental. We're just trying to get in the right mindset and keep each other on good terms. I mean, and I don't really know if I should be saying that, but it's not really gameplay we're focusing on right now. It's just trying to keep everyone in a good mindset and keep everyone on the same page on what we need to do, because it's been rough the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, that's understandable. I definitely think that Wait What is the team with the highest chance of imploding. At least in intermediate.
Yeah.
There's a reason we're partnered with Easy Club, right? We don't, and Geometry, because they were accused of having Smurfs 2 days, and But alright. Geometry, not geometry.
Geometry?
Geometry, I hate geometry. Trigonometry is worse.
Alright, talking about math.
Yeah.
Shut up. I'm
Oh,
on algebra
man.
1 right now, I am about to fail it, I think.
Rip.
Oh god, it fell off the map.
I just took my finals for geometry. It sucked. Alright, moving on to the next
we're
game.
talking about math too.
Yoink versus Overcharged. I have Overcharged winning 3-2. And Covet and Surmi have... Oh wait, Covet just changed his
Oh,
thing.
I did not mean to do that.
Okay. Covet and Surmi both have Yoink winning 3-2. And Fimi can't vote because he's part of Overcharged. Fimi, what preparations have you been taking for the game? Yeah.
Alright, so we got a free draft pick because of reasons with prime time and whatnot. So with that, we hosted trials, and we've had a bunch of scrims. We basically pretty much fixed our tank problem, which was honestly our biggest problem. So going into this week, I honestly think that we're gonna go either 3-1 or 3-0. I don't see us dropping more than a mat.
That's
Like
bold.
we've been scrimming, we've been popping off in scrims.
That's a
I
bold
think we're
statement.
good.
Wait, one
Yeah,
question.
that's it.
What SR do you scrim?
Like 3.3 or something.
Yeah.
Yoink,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Yoink scrims like 3.6.
Yep.
I don't know.
I don't know, dude.
I can't say anything because my team scrims like 4.0, 4.1 teams. So
Yeah, we're just trying to build up the new synergy with the new main tank.
yeah.
Yeah. I feel like this game could go either way, though. To be honest.
Definitely. But I just feel like Overcharge has like that tiny bit more edge, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do know.
Yes.
I wouldn't say tiny though.
No comment.
Yeah, no
Alright.
comment from me.
So, that is the end of Intermediate Countdown.
What is happening, ladies and gentlemen of League Zero, and welcome to the Advanced Division segment. I have a bunch of special guests for you today. We have Flawless from the Hanamura Hotshots. We have D'Artagnan, the manager of Newt Newt.
Hello.
And then we have Bakanje, the supposed to be off tank, if I remember correctly, but you were forced on main tank this past week.
Yeah, what's up?
We'll get to that in a minute. But let's dive into the weekly recap, because this week was unfortunately a lot of 3-0s. Well, I guess fortunately for Dart and Newt Newt, but everyone else here was kind of on the receiving end. So the first match was Hanamura Hotshots versus Flushed, despite basically everyone ranking Hotshots as first or second in the power rankings, including myself. Somewhat unsurprisingly, Flush came out with a 3-0 here. I think I even predicted Flush to go like 3-1 or something. So, Flawless, what sort of went on in that match? I did watch the match, but I want to hear it from your perspective.
So, yeah, they played such an awkward composition. It was so out of the ordinary, especially their Doom player. Their Doom player is really, really, really good.
Zero Devo.
Rev, yeah, he just... I was watching that, I was thinking, holy hell, like, Rev just destroyed you guys on Doomfist. Like, you couldn't do anything, and I felt really bad because you guys didn't play terribly. Like, I was going into it expecting, okay, like Hanamura is a new team, you know, Flushed is the Squeaker Squad. They already have pre-established synergy. This is gonna be rough, and then you guys actually pulled it out and played pretty well. I think there were like 1 or 2 maps there where you could have won if like Melon or Rev just didn't have this insane clutch potential.
Yeah. One of the reasons why I think we didn't really play to our full extent is that our May player Glacial was not there, and he was in New York at the homestands.
Oh,
So we
okay.
kind of had to kind of had to improvise. And
What does Chaos normally play?
Chaos is not on our team.
Oh, is he a ringer? Okay.
Chaos is
I
not
remember
on our
him from Advanced Pug, so I
team. Yeah.
okay, he actually played pretty decent, but yeah, I did notice that he wasn't quite up to snuff, especially comparing him to like Zera on Flex DPS or like Rev. You know,
Yeah.
he just kind of got outplayed. Although I will say that like later on in the match when Melon came in and started destroying people on McCree, Silver Star had his moments against Melon.
So when we first started, we decided to play double main tank, and we tried that new meta that was like being shown in the Overwatch League, and it was kind of last second we tried that composition, and it worked in a like scrim. We got some scrim buffs from it, but then we tried.
I
it
don't
in
know
the
what you're
match,
talking
and
about.
it didn't really work out. So we decided to go back to meta, and it seemed like we played meta a lot better. So I think we just need to stick with our roots. I think.
Yeah, I think, in all honesty, I think Hotshots, I still think that you guys could be the top team coming into the season. I think I said this last week as well, but I expect the team to be a slow burn. It's just like, you know, build up. You were pretty decent against Flushed this past week. I could see you guys, like, just staying consistent and getting consistently better and better. Kind of like Botburgers last season, but then again, I'm probably just saying that because Ham up.
Yeah, especially that now we have the Joshua Lucio. Everything's gonna be very well.
Isn't he your main tank?
Yeah, he's gonna go with the Lucio now.
Didn't he get like, or was it a different match? I'm pretty sure I remember Joshua getting like a 2K Orisa pull off the map.
Yep.
Something. Yep, I remember seeing that. I was like, how did the... But yeah, decent showing. 3-0 definitely doesn't explain how close it was. Although if you ask Flush, they're gonna be like, "No, we crushed them." No, you didn't. It was relatively close. But moving on to the next match. Unfortunate match, Newt versus Hangzhou. Hangzhou was going through a lot. Huge shout out to Jepic for the whole entire shit show that he went through, because he was like, well, first off, he's like, okay, we don't have enough people, we're gonna forfeit. And then at the very last minute, like 20 minutes before the game, I think he DM'd me and Dividing and Hedwig and was like, wait, no, we have enough people. Because he was gonna go out to dinner with his family after the game was canceled. And then he's like, no, wait, I can skip that and come to the game. And then, like, I think it was Ecology ghosted them, so they needed, like, a ringer. And they played 2 maps, and then they just kind of forfeited the last map because it wasn't going very well. But, like, what was it from your perspective, Dart?
Honestly, I kind of, like, after he came back from it not being a forfeit, I figured, like, they weren't gonna have, like, the players that they would probably start. But then again, not gonna lie, I think if they still had their starting roster, we win that. So
yeah, there is an argument for that.
Yeah, that's more of my thought on it.
I would like to also point out the player of the match, in this case, Sparrow Kami, because he's been around forever. You know, he was Season 0 coach for Easy Clap. He was, he was manager for, was it Easy Clap last season? Was it New? I don't know. That was Saito. Yeah, he's been around forever. He's never really gotten to play. Now that we've opened it up to players for outside of NA, he actually played surprisingly well. Granted, small sample size against a extremely weakened opponent, but
yeah, he's actually pretty sick, not gonna lie. Like, even in scrims, like, we kind of just roll people, and then, like, most of the time, Ultra's not even there, so Sparrow's playing main tank, and so he just kind of press shift into the team and then wins the game. So
what's his ping?
Yeah.
I don't actually know, like, what nationality he is.
He plays at like, I want to say it's like 170 ping.
Oh, that's not terrible. Some parts of EU you can get up to like 250, so it's
not terrible.
That's
so
reasonable.
It could be worse. But yeah, he's kind of cracked. Not gonna lie.
With personal scrim experience against that man, he's so aggressive. Scary dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see it. I know his personality.
We were scrimming one of the teams, and he kept on pressing shift into the enemy team, and we kept on telling him not to do it, but it worked out every time. So, yeah, he's hyper aggressive, but he kind of
just make him your bumper.
Yeah, basically.
Kind of
just kids.
That reminds me a little bit of Baz in Season 0, where he would go on these long flanks as Zenyatta, because back then he was playing flex support, and we're like, Baz, what are you doing? You're gonna die. And then he just hit like 3 kills, and then silently float back to our team. We're like, okay, if it works, it works.
Yeah, it's always like, no, Sparrow, don't do that. He's like, wait, just watch it.
Trust me.
Yeah.
Yep. Hopefully next week you can get a little bit more of a challenge. Not to thrash on Bark, because they were in a really terrible situation there. I'm hoping they can actually show up next week with a good amount of players. Supposedly, when Juice is playing Orisa, they're actually pretty good. We'll have to wait and see, though, because I don't really think they actually showed up yet. Next match was actually a huge shock to me. If you watched last week's predictions, I actually predicted Guangzhou to completely stomp the Flock, and the reason for that was that I think it was Fortle in the production server is like, oh, sorry, I can't stream on Friday any of the Novice games because my team hasn't scrimmed at all, and I'm gonna go find them a scrim for Friday. And I was like, okay, you do you. And I was thinking, like, oh boy, their management's inactive, like they're not gonna be ready, and Guangzhou, I consider them mid-table at the very worst. And then, albeit the match was incredibly close, and there were some definite highlights, but as soon as I saw Bakanji on Ryan, I was like, wait, doesn't he play off tank? And that's where things went downhill. No offense to you, Bakanji, but Fortle kind of dumpstered.
My Ryan's not very terrible, or my Ryan's kind of terrible.
Fortle kind of dumpstered you 24/7. He played so aggressive. Like every time, like I did watch the VODs yesterday just to catch up because I did see the Easy Clap Goats Only one in person because I hosted that one, but I wanted to be caught up on the rest of them. And every time Fortle charged in, I'm like, "There's no way he's surviving this," and then he survives it and like kills Bakanji in the meantime. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, and it's just because the flock invested so heavily into him. That being said, though, there were a lot of bright spots that I think actually outperformed their counterparts from Guangzhou over the flock. Like Ping's Haptic is a freaking nut. Like I've seen some of him play because I do know Pings and Hedwig who have played with Haptic for since season 0. We were all in Plat Chat together. So I've seen a little bit of Haptic's play, but never to that degree. And my God, this man is insane on McCree.
Yeah, Haptic's really good.
Like I don't think his peak is particularly high, like maybe low GM, but like Jesus Christ, he was shoot, who is the hit scan on the flock? I don't remember.
I don't remember.
All I remember is that like Haptic was just dumpstering them 24/7. Pings, despite Surf actually getting play of the game, I feel like Pings played a lot better holistically. And then Engage was a brand new name that I was really impressed by.
Yeah, I think we played decent. Just unlucky that you have to play Neon Ryan, I guess. I don't know.
Hey,
yeah.
Bakanji, at least you're making the play.
He didn't do terrible on Ryan, to your credit. It's just like Fortle went complete like full retard and his team just backed him up and it's hard to deal with that.
Can you even say that on Countdown, man?
I just did.
Yeah, come on, man.
Whoa.
Whoa.
We've said it before.
I don't know. Like on a Novice, I think it was second attack, he just charged me into the spawn and then
Yep. Yeah.
he shattered 6. It was kind of sad. I should have counter-charged that.
Yeah, well, I mean, do you, Brody's your main tank, right? Or am I thinking of a different team?
Yeah, Brody's our main tank.
Do you have a backup main tank?
We have Beast, but,
Was he not available?
I think we've just decided not to start him. I don't know, really.
Isn't Beast like rather low SR too? That might.
Yeah.
I know he's been talking about like just being mentally boomed, so maybe that's it. But
we just decided to run me and Pings, I guess, since that didn't work terribly in scrims, and it worked better than Beast and me, I guess. I
mean, to be fair, you got really close on like 2 maps, like Lijiang.
Yeah,
was
Kings
really
and Lijiang, yeah, it was really close. I just
Anubis,
think we made a lot of mistakes.
Yeah, but I think it was Kings Row where I was watching it. I was like, wait, they got 3-0'd? Like, is this not a 3-1? Because Kings was looking extremely winnable.
Yeah, I think we should have won Kings, but I don't know, we just really choked at the end. We didn't have good ult usage. We like didn't call when the fight was lost. So we threw Blizzard when we lost first point, and like I think it was a 3v6. And we just wasted that, so we didn't have that for the recontest. And I think that just kinda lost us the map.
Personally though,
also,
oh go ahead.
Also, anyway, if we did win that map, my dad was going to kick me off my computer. So, I don't know how that was going to go.
Yeah.
So, oh well, what can you do? GG go next, although I will say, having watched all 4 games of the week, Guangzhou versus the Flock was definitely the best one out of Advanced, like by far the closest.
I feel like it was the closest, yeah.
Very easily could have gone to a map 4 at the very least, so if you're wanting to go back and watch at least one game from the week, just watch that one. And then the next game was, okay, 2 Goats Only's credit. They played really well, and I think I drastically underestimated them. I think they could be like mid-table, just from what I've seen thus far, but they had the misfortune of facing Easy Clap.
Yeah, to be fair, if you're facing Wannabe and Koodle,
yeah,
you know, it kind of sucks to be you, especially when you're a new team.
Yeah, it's it was not pretty. I believe they said this in announcements. I didn't realize it until they said it after the match, but it made sense to me afterwards that they had actually played every DPS hero at least once. Because they did swap a lot, and I remember saying something like, wow, this, like, Wannabe's been swapping all over the place. Like, he was playing Mei for a little bit, he played Pharah, I believe, or maybe that was Koodle. They probably both played it, to be honest. But, like, they were just going all over the place, and just dominating. It was kind of unfortunate.
I mean, both teams, to be fair, are really, let me just say, from experience scrimming against goats only, they play really crazy compositions as well as easy claps, so it's like they both have kind of like crazy playstyles, and that's kind of cool to see them go against each other.
That's interesting, because Goats only stuck pretty hard to the meta for the most part. Like, they threw in a couple like weird DPS picks here and there, but for the most part it was pretty meta, and Easy Clap was just playing like literally anything.
Yeah, it was surprising because from what we've seen in like scrims and what they've been like, I feel like maybe they were like feeling uncomfortable. They didn't seem like they wanted to play against like Easy Clap on like off meta picks. It didn't seem like they wanted to play off meta at all.
Yeah, although to be honest, that possibly could have worked better. To their credit, I think they almost won. I think it was Busan was their first map. Oh, which it should have been Busan, and they like got really close to finishing it out. And then I think it was Koodle just came in like clutch last second with Doomfist and just cleared out the point with like a 3k. But yeah, crazy games. Hopefully this upcoming weekend will be a little bit closer in some regards. So let's move over to the predictions. So the first match we got is the Flock versus Hangzhou Bark. Unsurprisingly, everyone here, since no one is associated with that game this weekend, everyone can vote on it, and everyone's saying the Flock's gonna win. Bark, I don't know what's happening with Bark. Like, a lot of them are boomed, half of them are still suspended. Actually, I think Agreed might be able to play if they bring it to a map 4, because I believe his suspension was 1 game in 3 maps.
I think it's 1 game in 4 maps.
I thought it was 1 game in 3.
I don't know. I could look it up.
I can go check.
I don't want to at the moment. But either way,
Map 5, baby.
Yeah, if they do, man. Agreed's going to come in with a vengeance. Actually, that'd be interesting, because I don't...
Yeah, it's 1 map in 3.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So, Agreed has the potential to play. But that'd actually be really interesting to see, like, if Fortle was just kind of screwing with you this past weekend, or if he's actually that aggressive 24/7. Because him versus Agreed, if he is that aggressive 24/7, would be hilarious to watch, and I really want to see it.
The Agreed charge. Let's go.
I love the story from last season, Hangzhou, where they told Agreed to eat a warhead whenever he charged into the enemy's backline, but he'd do it like mid-game, so he'd just go around the corner and be like, "I got this, guys!" Like, not during the game! I believe he started liking warheads, though, so that strategy did not work after a while.
I mean, this meta overall is very aggressive, so the Rhine players are gonna be aggressive, and we're gonna see that a lot from the matches when it continues.
Yeah, definitely. But
okay.
Sure enough.
Yeah, I threaten my players with doing push-ups.
How do you enforce that?
Dude, I don't know. I just say, if you do this, I'm making you do push-ups, and then
I will find
if they haven't done anything wrong, like, so we're kind of chilling.
You should force them into like a DM call so they can do webcam.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Just force them, man.
That would be hilarious.
I will find where you live.
Yup, just find them.
Anyways, next match is Newt versus the Gangsters. Both Bakanje and Dark can't vote on this one, though I will ask your opinions briefly, but Flawless and I both think that Newt will take it. Personally, I see the Gangsters as like mid-table until they prove me wrong. But that's not necessarily a bad place to be, but Newt has such a potential to just like skyrocket up the rankings to like 2nd, 3rd maybe, depending on how they go against Flush later on.
I think Newts, with their synergy, I think they're another team where I think like people are putting them under like the Easy Clap and the Flushed, but I think like as the season progresses, they're just gonna be like a top team.
Yeah, I could definitely see it. But we'll start with Dart. What are you thinking going into this weekend's match against Gangsters? What are you most afraid of from the Gangsters?
That's a good question.
You haven't studied them yet?
Say you're scared of me.
I was actually gonna say you.
That's
but
some cow.
I don't think Arctic's like that zero brain to throw it into your DM or your defense matrix. To throw May Blizzard into your defense matrix. So let's go. I mean, I'm not too scared of much. I'm not gonna lie. That's not like to BM or anything, but like from what we've been doing in scrims and how we've been playing, like
Flashing around the scrim books, I got you.
I'm pretty sure we win this one.
I'll ask the same thing to you, Bakanje. What are you most afraid of? For
See, I don't know. I'm afraid of their whole team. They're kind of scary. They rolled us in scrims once. It was kind of scary.
Well, remember, Baz and Buffalo are unable to play this upcoming weekend still, so you're spared their wrath.
But Meta and Ben are also still good.
Yeah.
I mean, the only way, Guangzhou Gangsters could win is they put Stanley in, and then we just 3-0. If they put Stanley in, we 3-0.
Man, he's been asking us non-stop to put him in intermediate, and we just like don't know how to react to that.
It's okay, we're gonna put him in map 3, obviously.
Yes.
I'm very much hoping we see a Bakanje Lucio at least once now.
Bakanje Lucio, yes.
Yes.
So I don't even know if Brody's gonna be there, so I might be stuck on main tank for a second week in a row.
Just grind out Ryan.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing. I mean, it hasn't been going well. I dropped to 38 in comp playing grind, but you know.
I mean,
honestly, yeah. Honestly, we'll just put
hard.
We'll just put air on Ana again, because he doesn't even play Ana normally. So that'll be fun.
Dope.
Yeah.
One piece of advice I'll give you, Bakanje, is practice 180 charges. That is one thing I noticed was lacking.
Charge into the back line.
It's a great idea. Bakanje,
charge
you have
into
to
your
assert
back
yourself
line.
as an alpha. You have to assert yourself as an alpha in this game.
So actually, just charge right into Sparrow.
Yep.
I'll charge in.
I mean, he's probably going to be charging into you anyways, so.
I'm going to charge Sparrow off the map.
Just
every time.
Just have a
Get
race
the trade
off the
every
map.
time, dude.
That's like, I don't think it was advanced, but it was Yoink versus Shanghai, where Dibs and Muxie were just continually killing each other. Like, those were the first two to die every single fight, so every single fight was a 5v5 without the Ryans. And it's like, well, this got interesting.
Yeah.
It's perfectly even.
Yeah.
Anyways, the next match is gonna be another unfortunate one, I fear, which is the Easy Clap versus Hanamura Hotshots. While I still think that Hanamura has the potential to be a top team, they're a slow burn, what I'm expecting, and Easy Clap is just Easy Clap. They're gonna meme and roll because they're like 300 SR above everyone.
Facts.
Flawless. What are you hoping for coming into this match this weekend?
We got this.
You got
we're
this.
We're gonna throw everyone's rankings off. This is it. This is
you're
it.
gonna throw
This
Jishu
is
on
the
passive
episode.
Reinhardt.
We got the Tiny McCree. We got the Glacial Lucio. We got the Joshua Lucio.
Wait a
Wait,
minute.
You run two
Wait,
Lucios.
I mean, dang it! I mean, Glacial May. All right, and we're gonna roll. We're gonna try to deal with their weird play style. We're gonna study them. We're gonna roll. We got this.
I like the confidence.
Can I add something real quick?
Go for
What's
it.
up?
So, you guys will roll them 3-0 if they put in Colby, but that's it.
Yeah. I'm not saying 3-0, but I'm definitely
No, it's
showing
3-0 if they put in Colby, man.
Oh, okay.
Colby's a hard throw.
You're gonna see a close match. I think. I think you guys are gonna be surprised.
I hope to be. I like Hotshots as a team. I respect what you guys do. I respect the grind, but I am cautiously pessimistic about this particular match just because it is Easy Clap.
Hey, we got the synergy. We're building on that synergy. They are basically playing like it's competitive. If we can just nail shutting a person down and rolling, we can do it.
I will give you one.
They have wannabe Chow though, so
We
I
got
don't know,
this.
man.
I'll give you One tip is that they all disliked playing against May. They were complaining about it consistently.
Yep.
Against Ghost Only. Actually, Moby got in their heads a little bit. Granted, they're not going to watch this, let's be honest, besides maybe Colby. But, like, they were complaining about it a little bit.
We have one of the best Mays in this tournament.
Just abuse the crap out of that and tilt them like the Bro Bunker tilted Yusuf last season on Z9.
Brunker, dude, the Brunker.
Oh no.
And
the
then
new special.
There is the last match of the week, which we all get to vote on, which is Flushed versus Goats. Kind of unsurprisingly, everyone's saying Flushed is going to win either 3-0 or 3-1. Flawless, what makes you think that Goats Only will take a map in this matchup?
I think with Goats Only's random, well, the way I was thinking is that they sort of feared Easy Clap, but what I've seen from them in scrims is that they play such a weird playstyle sometimes on some certain maps. So I think they could surprise them, and then Flush is just gonna be like, oh crap, we need to try hard, and then they're just gonna roll.
All right. I definitely agree that I think Flush or Goats Only might be able to put up a fight, but it depends on who's playing. I believe both Gag and Bubbles are in the hospital currently for 2 different things, so like they don't have an off tank aside from Zira.
Zero the off tank.
He played really good on D.Va, surprisingly.
Zira D.Va. No, okay. Zira should have been the MVP for the Flushed HH game, because Zira D.Va is probably better than mine.
He didn't even get an honorable mention, surprisingly enough. He did good. I mean, like, not to the level of Gag, but then again, I feel like only Falcon can really match that. For the time being, at least.
Yeah.
But yeah. Interesting week coming up. Hopefully less 3-0s. Hopefully some more map 5s. Well, I guess you guys aren't hoping for map 5s, but I am as the spectator. Got any closing statements, anyone?
Oh, yeah, I do. So, it might not be advanced related, but Javi, aka Soundwave, is the best main tank in Intermediate, and I'd just like everyone to know that.
Okay. That's, wait, what, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And the last thing I want to close my thing out with is just 2 single words. And I want everyone to remember this. Jisua Hanzo. Good night, everyone.
What's for lunch? It's hungry
Much utility.
Danica is incredibly low, just waiting. Oh! And maybe finally they will have.
Oh my lord! Again!
Right now. Oh, Kisco. He got D-Max, but he still managed. His back over, he is also getting taxi. Oh my word.
He's going to have beats. Could negate it. I don't know. It's a hard thing to do.
Do have
Herping Yoshi eats Graviton.
The little puppy and the team is rushing.
Alpha Omega in the back line.
Herping Yoshi eats Iggleby back.
Big eat from Kisco.
Oh, 2 of them.
Oh, there it is. It's gonna
Oh no! It came out with phones ult again.
Gonna go down main, and also Squirrel swapped over to the Reaper over the McCree. Mail is eaten again. And Vitalize are able to just now engage in now. Fish gonna use the ult to eat again.
It's another ult from Fish.
Kimbo is really hungry. Ooh, there's this charge in. Oh, Fish is eating again! Madman. There's both freeze coming out, but
Kimbo eats Fish's mail. The match is honestly, I think Vitalize showed.
Oh, Kimbo eats another one.
Like the
Raging is going to. Raging just. Oh no!
He was saw from a mile away.
He chucked it from way too far away.
Eaten over
Magic is 2. The main tank
and that Blizzard is probably. Oh! He ate 2 ults!
Are you kidding me?
Bye.